that there were bank runs last month. There were bank runs going on in China. And do we have the display up, or is it still is it still a black screen? No, the display's up. Okay, perfect. Okay, so here's an article I wanted to share. China scrambles to defuse alarm over mortgage boycotts and bank runs. So one of the things that I want to highlight in this article is right here in China. In China, real estate firms are allowed to sell homes before completing them, and customers have to start repaying mortgages before they are in possession of the new property. So, okay, housing markets are really localized, right? Because of the constraints that the cities place on the opportunities to develop new housing, to manage the housing that already exists, and the kind of condition of the resale housing and the inventory. All of those things are really localized. They're specific to the city that they exist in. So Las Vegas's market is very different from another city, another metropolitan area like Los Angeles, even though a lot of the population recently has migrated from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. The housing market is still different. So one of the things that we'll be seeing in Las Vegas is that there are a lot of new home developments, a ton of these just everywhere, all over the city. And it's not something you see like in Los Angeles too much. A lot of the houses there are resale homes. There's not a lot of development. But here in the desert, there's so much space to expand. So there's this constant, expansion of homes in suburban neighborhoods being constructed. But when we see a time like the last year when interest rates have increased so much, we notice that people who have ordered those homes to be built, they could have afforded them when they ordered the home. But now that the interest rate has increased so drastically over a short period of time, that by the time the home is completed, they can no longer afford the house because of the interest rate. And so we're going to see a lot of sales fall through as a result of this. The wait of like 8 to 9 months between ordering the home and actually paying for the home to finance it. And so I think in the future, in the next year or couple of years, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for people who are interested in buying a home to find deals at new home builds, because there's going to be an abundance of those, and there's going to be a shortage of buyers when those contracts fall through. So that's just something to keep an eye on. And the reason I bring that up is because the difference here, and the reason I highlighted that paragraph, is that it says that real estate firms can sell the homes before completing them. So that's the key difference, is that the homes here in Las Vegas are not sold until the homes are completed. Here, they're completely sold. In fact, the people are paying for them while they're still being built. And then the home builder takes the money that the people are paying for the home that hasn't been built yet, and they use that to build other homes and sell those homes, and then take that money, and they just continue to do that. They just keep chaining the money, pushing it forward. But when people start to default on these things, and they stop paying for the homes, and the homes stop being built because the home builder runs out of money, that's going to lead to some serious ripple effects across the housing market in China. And that's what we're seeing. And this is mid-July. Again, this is a little bit old news, but it's something that I really wanted to talk about. So we see that stocks rallied in response to a regulator in China saying that they're going to work with local governments, and they're going to ensure delivery of unfinished residential projects. So in other words, they're going to try and work on nationalizing the completion of those projects. And then if you see here, it says buyers across 18 provinces and 47 cities had stopped making payments by last Wednesday. So mass, and this is again mid-July. So mass defaulting like this will have serious effects on their housing market, and it will be interesting to keep an eye on that in the future. Another thing to consider is the bank runs that are going on in China. So there are a lot of local and rural banks who have customers that can't access their funds. And so a lot of people's assets are being frozen. And so local governments are issuing bonds to replenish the bank's capital. As you can see, the governments are going to, it says 45 billion total. at the end of August. So, these people are kind of freaking out. I mean, imagine having your life savings and it's completely frozen. And those are not the signs of a strong economy. I mean, this is something that we've seen in places like Greece. When Greece defaulted, they kind of had a limit on how much cash people could withdraw from ATMs and banks on any given day, which really kind of reduces the buying power of the entire population. I mean, imagine being a millionaire, but it doesn't really mean anything if you can only access $300 per day. And so that's like kind of a scary concept to think about. And in such, such a populous area like China, it's, going to be interesting to watch the ramifications of that.